it's time to move on now. It's time for murder blues.
Josh is like, it's like a starting line, like it's like the clap is like the track gun, you know, but instead of like, you know, running really fast, Josh goes like his like goofball meter goes off and he just goes
I'm Gizmo. I am Gizmo for sure.
You're Gizmo. You're Gizmo. Welcome all. This is Murder Moose. I am Rod. The
I'm
man
Josh.
with the erect nipples is Josh. And
Hey, how did you
excuse me,
know? I got
I'm
my new
burping from
misery
water.
signal shirt. It's covering it very nicely.
Nice. It's you got a misery signal like right above your nipple. Like
Ooh.
it's like a star, like the Northern Star. If you follow it, you will find Josh's nipple.
Oh man,
And
I gotta. What? Oh wait, yeah. Go
couldn't say
do it. Do it. Just do it. Just do it.
be
Just
a
do it.
part of the Slash and Cast Podcast Network, aka
It's in the
Slash and Cast
game.
Podcast Network. It's in the game.
It's part of the intro on YouTube. Check it out. I feel like, hey, I went and saw it. There's some more views going on over on the YouTubes.
Yep.
I like it.
And it's funny because I've noticed like with I think when the Sadness actually comes out, we'll get more views for that because it's newer. And then like
Dude,
it's
they used my poster as an actual advertisement for the movie, the one weekend only in Canada. They did a cross promotion with me and my poster on Instagram and Facebook.
so
Feels
cool.
fucking awesome. I woke up to that because they did it like an hour or something before I woke up, and I woke up and I was like, what? Raven Banner wants to do a cross promo post with you, and I had to like approve it and stuff, and I was like, cool, approve. And then it was like up. I was like, holy shit, what the fuck? This is awesome.
Cool, man. Yeah, that's like dude, that's like it's cool to have anyone appreciate your work, but like the people, like that's their whole thing, right? They don't like they put movies out, right? They don't make movies. They just like they're like a publishing. Is that what they're called for movies? Publishing house or production? I mean, they just
production house.
Is that what they're called? That just like put them out. They're like
distribution,
aren't they? Like they're a distribution house, right?
Raven Banner, yeah, but they also help produce as well, right? So
do they?
Yeah.
Okay, but either way, that's cool because you're just like you're getting the people who are like when you're like distribution, you know that kind of shit more than anything, right? Like that's your you.
But
take
I've been doing a good fucking job. I've been having a blast. I kept going today on that Cabin Fever, like over lunch and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't record it and it wasn't on the stream, but I finished it and it's up on my website, joshwrb.com. Check it out, man. It's one of my favorite. I keep saying that every week, every time I do a poster, it's one of my favorites, but I'm consistently blowing my own mind. And that's all that really matters. I'm having a ton of fun. Dude, check that one out. Seriously, go there.
Yeah, I will.
Go check it.
Dude,
check it out.
The thing is, like, it's one of those things. As with me, like, I watch you do it. I'm like, oh, man, Josh is loving doing this. The thing that like makes me like go, man, you had like that water out and then you completely removed it. But dude, the fucking
no, you should see it now.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, dude.
Yeah, the water's completely gone now, and I went really for like. Yeah, I love what I did with the bathtub and the teeth, and yeah, I don't know, like it evolves though, because that's what I also like about putting the process out, because I halfway through my stream didn't even know if I was gonna do a poster. I did the like marquee of like all the flipping all the other old posters, and then halfway through I was like, let's see if I have any suggestions, because I asked for some at the beginning of the stream.
Yeah.
And then Tipsy Pod from our network came in with a suggestion to do Cabin Fever because they're doing it tomorrow on their podcast. So I was like, hell yeah, thanks for the suggestion. And
they've been cool, man.
I love that cool. They're coming out.
Yeah, they're supporting, and they're like I think it was Steph. Like they have the two ladies. One of them's pregnant, so they're like I think they were taking a break from the actual like the both of them, and I think they're doing like with fill-ins. But yeah, and they were coming in and like laughing at my like Elden Ring streams where I was losing my goddamn. They decided to come in when it was like the bad part of the game, you know, where I was getting my dick kicked in by like a fucking Clydesdale horse. But like,
That's the whole game, I
yeah.
thought.
Oh no, I know it is, but when you get to the end, it like amplifies the dick kicking. Like it goes from like just a couple of dick kicks to like dozens of dick kicks by like a giant. So yeah, and they were laughing and having a good time. And I was thinking we need to get them on when soon because they've
Oh
been
yeah,
very.
that'd be sweet.
So we may try to do that here. Um, yeah, Josh, it's so cool seeing like your mind work because like someone who like me who I don't like I so I was thinking about this recently and I think I'm partially so there's a condition out there. I don't know if you've ever heard of this where you don't visualize things in your brain very well. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't like so I have it, but like there's a scale, right? Like
I
I
think
I
most ADD people have that, man, because
yeah,
I've gone through this and I know exactly
yeah,
what you're talking about. I see
yeah.
black.
Yep.
People can like they'll say like yellow balloon, and then like people close their eyes and they see like a yellow balloon. I
Yeah.
see black,
Yep. Yeah.
darkness.
It's it's like in my brain, it's like it I can see like the yellow balloon, but like I don't really see it. Like I know what I'm supposed to be seeing when I like you know what I mean? It's like and it carries
I've
over
had
for me with like
pockets of clarity where it does I
yeah,
can visualize, but it's because we have ADHD. It's hard to like
yeah,
go through that to the like the zen part of our brains so we
yeah,
can visualize. What I
yep,
do is ideas just come to me as I'm doing it, as I see
yeah,
it. I know I'm using Photoshop as a tool, as like my paintbrush,
yeah,
because I've used it for so long. I know how to manipulate, how to whatever. And then ideas just kind of flow through in real time. And I feel like
yeah,
that's kind of interesting to show my process
yeah.
because, you know,
Well, yeah, because
I like to overlay stuff and
yep.
make it look weird.
Yeah, it's dude, it's because like watching you do something and it's like where and never saying things look bad, but they just look so much different from like where you
The end
start and
product. Oh
watching
yeah.
go through. Yeah, and it's just like I'm like, it's just my brain watching you do that. I'm like, what the fuck is this crazy motherfucker doing? Like, because my brain doesn't like visual. Like, I can tell when stuff looks good, right? Don't get me wrong, but like seeing it
I
and
know.
like you
It
know,
looks
like
bad for a long time and then all of a
yeah,
sudden it looks good. But I think putting the marquee above my head of flipping through all the past work, I think is going to work better for me because I was scared of that, to be honest. If I'm not like overly explaining what I'm doing or explaining that the end process is or this is the process, whatever. Um, I don't know. Like it does look bad for a while until it looks good, and that the poster, especially today, you
yeah,
saw I was struggling with that water. I was struggling
yeah,
with the making the picture in the background, making the I don't know. I have my hero image, which is the bathtub, but I don't
yeah.
know. It's just fun, man. It's so
I
fun.
love you merging the teeth into the like making them look like porcelain is a
Yeah.
really cool look, and it just is that like that white space is like kind of striking, but like that and like you taking the cabin or the skull and making it like the going into the bathtub is a really unique look, and like you were doing some cool things with that, like at points where it looked like you had the you made it looking like a blood moon or something. It looked like a blood
Yeah.
moon for a while, right? And which was an interesting look
I
too.
know I was
It was,
trying one or the other, but I feel like
yeah,
this is
yeah.
a better take for sure.
Oh, dude, you killed it, man. You just impressed me with what you. I mean, it's that experience, years of doing it, and just knowing what works and what doesn't, and what your creative mind does. Oh, I had to say,
And this poster right here that if you're on YouTube, you can see it. It's right over here, episode 83. This was the poster that got the ball rolling back in this
yeah,
direction for me. I knew we were eventually going to do this because it's Rod's favorite movie of all time,
uh,
and I just I was I was really inconsistent with my alternative posters, and I felt like doing a poster for The Thing would really kind of give me. It's just such a good movie, and there's so many awesome parts to it to kind of take from in order to make something. And I don't know, it's minimal, but if you look at the bottom, and it's really small, whatever, but if you go to the
Yeah.
website and look at this poster on the bottom, there's a lot more going on than it actually looks like. It's not just ice and there's a lot more going on. So
It kind of
yeah,
looks like there's frozen testicles on the bottom of the screen, Josh, which is
no,
something
it's a
that
guy's. It's very slight, but there's the guy's face, and it's splitting into two. It's The Thing.
I know, but I'm telling you, at the very bottom of the screen, it looks like frozen testicles, and I love
Well, it is.
I mean, frozen testicles are amazing, Josh.
It
It's
is
okay.
called The Thing. You got to put a thing on there.
No, dude, I think that when you started doing those, you were putting pressure on yourself, which
I really
isn't
was.
good, especially with all the things you have going on in your normal life. And like, this whole thing was never about pressure for you, right? This was you come up and like hang out with me for a couple hours on a Tuesday night, and we talk bullshit about a movie that we watched, and like
It's
I
because
think
I
you were trying
didn't
to.
schedule it before. That was the main issue. I never had like a scheduled time that I knew I was going to do this. And if I didn't want to do it, I could do something else type thing. But now that I'm being, it's like, no, I know in the morning I have time to work on this, and that it's a peace of mind.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's that creative outlet. I mean, both you and I know are like that. Like, and a lot of people. I mean, I know there are plenty of people who enjoy their normal everyday work. Don't get me wrong, but like, it's you and I are both ADHD, and when that's the problem with a career and a job, right? Like, you're doing the same thing a lot, right? You're doing the same thing all the time, kind of
I'm
thing.
not saying I don't like my job it's
Yeah,
there's just constraints for
yeah,
your own creativity. It's like, you I can't do exactly what I want all the time. I do make decisions for art direction and stuff, but um it's not like, I love horror. I love being
yeah,
able to mesh a whole bunch of weird things together and make something that didn't exist out of a whole bunch
mhm,
of images that were just kind of sitting there doing their own thing. Now they're all meshed together to make something brand new and tell a
yeah,
story visually. It's fucking so much fun, man. Like, and
yeah,
I think they look fucking great.
dude. They do. All of them have their own like things that are really cool, and it's just cool watching your brain work, man, and like what you do with it, and like it's
And Alien
like you.
being your favorite movie too, I knew I had to do
Yeah,
that one, and I feel like that
yeah,
one is just super solid. The colors,
yeah.
I don't know,
I
man.
have
I
my California buddy. We were commenting on his Twitter the other day. He might come on and talk to us about that. He's a dude. That motherfucker is. He's a Hearthstone streamer. Like, he still does it and does like, that's his like gig, I think. And then, but like, he does those, those music, those collab videos where you like have like six people singing like different parts. Like, he does that and puts them together by himself. Like, and it's like
Oh,
six
he
versions of
does?
him. Yeah, and it's just like this motherfucker is, and he's. I'm like, what can't you do? He's like he's a good looking California dude who's got like who's really good at that game.
California,
California.
here
And
we go.
yeah, so he's a good dude. I love the Cantaloupe is a good man. Um, so Jerry was supposed to be here, and then like his wife started a new job and couldn't do it because like they had to drive an hour and a half to go get stuff. And I'm like, man,
I feel like
Jerry.
life is doing that in my life a lot right now too. It's
Yeah,
just like, hey, this is get ready. This is coming
yeah,
for you. Okay,
yeah,
it's about to be here. Fuck you. It's not coming. Go fuck yourself.
yeah.
Ah,
That's what Jerry, man,
again,
like
again.
when Jerry was kind of filling in, like for the podcast when you were out for a little bit, he was like, I would get
Oh crap! I refreshed you. I can't hear you right now. Just wait. Okay, there we go.
okay. He had like this thing where he was like, it would be like a half an hour before we were supposed to record, something would happen shitty to him, like the homeless guys stabbing each other
Oh
outside of his
right,
house.
yeah.
That man is his luck is just. I was messaging with him the other day though, like his dad is like his dad has got like dementia or whatever, and like
Yeah.
he sent me screenshots of his dad hitting on a 30-year-old on Facebook. And he's like, my dad's out of his mind. I was like, he knows what he wants, Jerry. He knows what he likes. And we were laughing about it. I'm like, oh my god, that man is the shit Jerry has to do. Like, and he just had a stroke too, and he's like out of the hospital after that. But it's just like, man, Jerry's like. Jerry sometimes I think is cursed as a human being, and I don't know. It's like after all the shit you go through, Josh, and all the shit I go through on the side, it's just like, man, do we just like curse like attract each other like with like merging as like people because we all like have this like life of like bad things, like a higher percentage of bad things happen to us. I don't fucking know, man.
I don't know. I don't want to
No.
think about it like that. I can't. It's
I know. I do. I'm trying to.
I know.
Dude,
I feel like, it doesn't matter what I do. It's just I'm going to be fucking just punished for the entirety of a year. And then after the year, maybe it will stop, but fingers crossed that it stops before then, but I don't think I can expect anything less at this point because nobody fucking cares. So let's just keep moving on, man, because that's all I
the
can do,
world we
right?
live in. Yep, man. It's all you could do. It's all you can fucking do. And
Dude, have
it's
you watched anything good lately other than movies? Because I got a few shows that are just way too good that I gotta talk about or gush
we
again.
just slammed through Stranger Things season 3 because we never
Oh,
watched it.
you're getting prepared? Yeah, Stranger
And
Things comes out close to the end of the month, right? So
I think, this month, I think Stranger Things season 3 was the best of the 3 seasons.
yeah, it
It
was really
seemed
good.
like, yeah, and I'm like, well, because they gave dimension to characters like 11, right? Like, and so that
Yes.
was the last thing we really uh went through. I have this weird like thing of food cooking shows, and I just binge watched. Netflix has a whole show about cooking with weed, and I just binge watched that over the weekend. It was like 6 or 8 episodes of these different chefs coming in and cooking with weed, and I was like, man, this is like it's really interesting for one. It was the most R-rated cooking show I've ever seen because they're like swearing and cussing the whole time because it's like
Nice.
they're like, I guess we're cooking with weed already. We might as well, let them, whatever. And it's on Netflix. So that was interesting. And
Netflix
then
has some fun stuff like that for sure, hey?
yeah, I'm not. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna have Netflix. I'm right now. I'm thinking as soon as like we're done with Stranger Things season 4, we're with the last season. We're
I
probably
feel
just
like a
gonna
lot of people are doing the same thing right now, man. So
yeah, dude. It's $15 a month, and they're talking about adding commercials. Fucking suck my dick, Netflix. Suck my dick until the end of time. Like I've never shared like password stuff like that they're going after out of their way to go after, but like man,
I do.
Net-
I use my mom's, and so does like
yeah.
everyone in our family. She pays for the family pack,
Oh, well,
and
that's not the family pack is not like
I know,
they
but
just have the regular one. Right? I don't know. I don't know, man.
dude, I gotta say, Barry is back. It's an HBO show. If you're not
Yeah,
watching
with
it,
no.
fucking watch it. It's so so funny, but
Yeah.
also just because it's a show about a fucking hitman
Hitman. Yeah.
who's just kind of fucking mental. But the way they film it and the way they like layer jokes, but it's all deadpan. It's all very dark comedy and just it's stupidity comedy as well. But the amount of like storytelling and different layers to the show, it is so well put together. And
Yeah.
I'm watching it going like, wow, like wow, this is so good. One, so funny, and then like the way the last episode ended, where they like switched to like the really crazy lens to show just how fucked up the situation is. You're just like,
Yeah.
holy shit, this show is good. And then at the same time, fucking Better Call Saul. Again, I'm gonna gush every week because it's on, and holy fuck, it's just it's too good, man. Like
Yeah.
last night was awesome because I turned on the thing right after dinner. I still had some leftover popcorn from the festival, so I had my bag of popcorn.
Okay, one little thing, Josh. We need to
I
have
got
an
my new
intervention with
tooth.
you. You need to drop the popcorn. You
Fuck off! I like popcorn.
You destroyed a tooth with the popcorn, and you won't give it
I
up.
don't.
You're sucking dick for popcorn. You're like,
No, I eat
popcorn.
popcorn for popcorn.
You're sucking dick for popcorn.
No. So I had my popcorn. I had the thing on. It was great. And then right immediately after, boom, right into Better Call Saul and Barry. And I'm just like, man, what a great night of if you gotta, because like I've been going out, like I did on the weekend, made a video about it on my YouTube. We went really, really far on my bike to go and get some Beast Burgers and stuff. So it's super nice in Calgary right now. So I've been outside as often as possible, cleaning up my yard, on my bike, just getting out just fucking out, right? So last night I was like, oh man, I got to sit on the couch tonight. But then I was like, so what? I got like all the best things to watch. So like, if you're going to do it fucking right and watch The Thing, watch those other two shows. Fuck, so good.
Dude, The Thing is such a relaxing movie for me. I might have fallen asleep for a couple minutes.
Yeah, but how many times have you seen it first?
10, 15 times probably. Probably
So
more than that, actually.
When I was watching this, because like I do remember watching it not too long ago, but there's something to be said about being sober and watching movies, because there's so many parts because I used to watch a shit ton of movies, but I would also smoke a shit ton of weed and then just forget that I even watched that movie. Like, honestly, though.
Yeah,
so, like, to be a sober person and really enjoying movies for, like, the third or fourth time and not even, like, I feel like I'm watching it for the first time. A lot of shit. Because, like, I remembered a lot of parts, but there was full-on big sequences of this movie that I felt like I was watching for the first time, which is really cool. And it makes me appreciate a lot of different parts of this movie because it's so unapologetically 80s that it's amazing.
Oh, dude, like, it's the most Josh ending, I think, of like any film we've ever seen too. Like it's so like the ending of this movie is so incredibly bleak. Like,
but that's what I love about John Carpenter, though. Like that's who he is too. He is unapologetically John Carpenter. And I think that's who I am as well. It's just like, I'm an artist. You don't like my art? You're not the artist. I am. I don't care.
Dude, I was texting with Jerry while I was watching it. I'm like, fucking Kurt Russell in this movie is sitting here and is like in Antarctica, like with like a leather jacket and no hat. I'm like, this motherfucker.
Yeah, but his hat is so dope too.
He doesn't wear his Then he fucking he like
he's like cowboy hat.
He's got like a cowboy hat. It kind of reminded me of like some kind of Australian hat or something.
Yeah, it was just huge.
When they go to look at the Norwegian camp or whatever, and I'm like, oh, you gonna that doesn't fucking help your ears, dude. You wear a hat in that kind of environment to keep your ears. And he's got he's got a great head of hair. Don't get me wrong, but like
a lot of people in this movie do.
Yeah, Kurt Russell, the entire thing is just like, I'm gonna be as cool as possible the entire time. I'm gonna be the coolest motherfucker alive because I'm Kurt Russell. I mean, there's a reason Kurt Russell and John Carpenter obviously had that relationship, right? Because this movie and Escape from New York and like Big Trouble in Little China, they did a lot together. And man, but Kurt Russell, man, it's funny because I was thinking while I was watching this, I was thinking about how cool he is in like the Fast and Furious movies. By the way, fuck you, Vin Diesel.
I know. What the fuck,
dude? I mean, we all kind of knew what was up when he fucking scared The Rock off, because The Rock is like, the coolest dude in the world. How do you scare Justin Lin off, you fucking asshole?
Did you see that video too on set? He's just like, oh, we just finished week 1. Like, Vin Diesel and his like, ridiculous videos he puts on his Instagram or whatever, and Justin Lin's like in the background. Vin Diesel's like, yeah, we just finished week 1. This is gonna be the best one, right, Justin? And Justin's like, yeah, like he's being held hostage, and then like a few days later, he's like, fuck this, I'm out. But apparently they did make it so he can stay on as a producer, so that's good.
Of course, there was no way they were gonna take that away from him. That man has made them way too much fucking money that they were gonna like, not take that. It's the same thing that happened with fucking like.
Well, you
Scott
heard why
Derrickson
he pieced out, right? I read another article on it.
because of like they had like he didn't like. I think him adding Brie Larson late in the game sounded like it was a part of it. Like, and then like they had some argument about the script. It sounded like, I don't know.
No, it was mostly just Vin Diesel being an alpha fucking dick on everything. He's coming late to set. He's not in shape. Justin Lin wrote the movie, but it doesn't matter if there's like an action sequence. Vin Diesel will just randomly at some point in time just be like, no, I don't like that, rewrite it. And it's just like, it's already in production, and he's like still doing that stuff and making rewrites and blah, blah, blah. And
that's what scared The Rock off.
Yeah, he's just like, it's all up to Vin Diesel. It's his fucking thing. And like, everyone's like, fuck, you're costing everything like $1 million a day right now. Shut the fuck up, man. Like,
dude, it would have like, you have to go, hey, Vin, you came, let's be real. The Fast 9 was
so
not
dumb.
that great. And I mean, it was entertaining. Don't get me wrong. We both had fun with it, but like, and you're trying to do a 2-part thing, and there's no way these movies are going to be good. Like, I mean, they might be entertaining, but there's no way they're going to be good. You don't scare Justin Lin off like that and do all this shit and be Vin Diesel. I mean, he's been an asshole forever, and I've liked him forever. But like, I mean, I'm talking back to like Pitch Black, and then what was that fucking what was that stupid Wall Street movie he did? That I think of going to see that in the theaters back in like high school or some shit like that. But Vin Diesel, you're not nearly as he's turning into Steven Seagal, like, or something like that, right? Like that's kind of like the vibe I'm starting to get. Like he's way more successful than Steven Seagal ever was, but like I could see him in 20 years, like living in Russia, like blowing Putin's like a successor or some shit like that. Did you know Steven Seagal lives in Russia, by the way? He lives in Russia. That's just like, yeah. So fuck you, Vin Diesel. Stop being an asshole. And I don't even know how I got started with this. I think it was, I don't know. It was Kurt Russell. And then it went to Kurt Russell, who plays like Mr. X or whatever. And yeah, he's fucking, whenever he shows up in those movies, he's like the coolest motherfucker around. He's just like, yeah, I'm Kurt Russell, and whatever, man.
He is.
And he does that this whole film. Like, he's just like, I'm Kurt Russell. Him running around with the dynamite,
dude,
like in the middle.
I just got to bring up, like, special effects wise in this movie.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone talks about the practical special effects way more than any of the pyro. And the pyro is like, honestly, 80% of this fucking movie. They blow everything up. They light everything on fucking fire. Yeah. It looked like the most dangerous shoot ever. They would never do anything like this movie nowadays. Like there's no way they would get away with half of the fucking
CG
shit.
Fire.
What? Yeah, it would all be CG fucking bullshit, like fire starter fucking lameness. Like it looks so stupid.
That's the problem with fire too. Like CG fire.
Oh wait, I got to change this alien poster to my poster.
CG fire. Was that what you call them? Ducks picture poster?
Which?
I don't know. What were you talking about? I was confused at what you were saying.
Oh, just on my server, I want to change the alien poster to. No, that's mine. I did.
Okay, I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, where did you? I didn't know you were talking about Josh.
On my server. Yeah, on my server.
So that was the thing. Is like that whole like, everything with this. I mean, it ended up running over budget, like right because of just the practical effects and everything. But man, this movie, when I think of when I speak of like or think in my head of like the golden era of practical effects, it's this movie and fucking The Fly. Those are the two films, and I haven't seen The Fly in it's been more than a decade now. I need to revisit it. I just own a copy of it. And this film is just like there's things I still don't know how they did. Like the head from your poster, which is still one of my fucking favorite scenes in all cinema. You got to be fucking kidding me or whatever he says because
Yeah.
like it gets up. How did those legs in that thing looked like they couldn't support how skinny they were, and that's probably because they were metal underneath it. Like it was because it
There's a
was like
few parts in this movie where the like the in between of the
yeah
special effects, you can almost like see the glue type thing, and
yeah
then it cuts to a different angle, and then it looks better. And it's just like,
yeah
oh, that was a little jarring, but like this is 1982, so
yeah
yeah, like
yeah. It's another thing where like, well, that's one of those things about this film that is amazing, right? Like a lot of times now when you put a film like this in Blu-ray or 4K, it kind of shows the seams of the things, right?
yeah.
This film, you still can't see the seams. Like you still like you're talking about like you could kind of like you're like, oh, maybe that's like you could kind of see stuff, but like it
No,
doesn't.
I just meant like how it
Yeah,
looked, like for the
yeah,
like I'm just blown away by just all the goo and like the prosthetic
yeah.
faces, and like it's insane what they did with this. And I want to
Well,
know I want to know what they did with like the tentacles that came out and like attached themselves to stuff and everything.
yeah.
They're all so creepy and awesome. I love those like and then they
I
turn
wonder
into like spider legs and shit. So good.
I wonder if that was like reverse filming, right? Like if they pulled it off and then like just
Mm.
reversed it. That's one of those things I always think about. Either that or they're shooting them with like pressure, like CO2 or something like that. Shooting those things out. But I bet you they were because that's the thing where they're like attaching to stuff, like you're saying, like their tentacles are shooting out and just yeah, man. I this is really like one of those scenarios too where it's like the whole movie is just horrifying. Like right because you start off in this like nothingness of the Antarctica, right? Like you
And then some randos come in a helicopter and start shooting the shit out of their dogs, and they're like, "What the fuck are
yeah.
you doing?"
And then the dude shoots the one guy in the head after the other guy blows up the
So good.
helicopter, right? And you're just like, what the and the best part about it is, I don't know if you know this. So in Norwegian, he's explaining the dog is an alien. So it's like if you know Norwegian, you kind of know what the fuck is happening right at the very beginning of the film. That's such a cool thing. That's like no one is like in America, especially, is gonna fucking know what this means. But like then you show it in Norway, right? And they're like, oh, this guy's talking about like, oh, get away from it, so whatever. And it's one of those things. Is like, God, John Carpenter, you're so like John Carpenter is not like he doesn't do like the kind of detail of what do you call him from Seven and like stuff like that. He doesn't have like that level of like David Fincher. He doesn't like do that, but man, he's really like high like attention to detail and does everything just so well. And it's one of those things, man, where like I feel like John Carpenter never like he's got these like grand scale things, but like his films are also very small at the same time, right? Like this is like you have this like big thing of this like this alien that crashes on Earth, but like it's very small in that it's like on this really isolated location, right?
Yeah.
And then you think of like the Halloween, it's like really small, it's like a block. And then like but things like I think he gets a little bit bigger on like
That's
later
what
on,
makes
right?
these movies stand the test of time. Like as soon as they get too out of control and too big and too whatever, like it it doesn't. It's harder to I don't know, like just accomplish. I guess like
Yeah.
to wrap our heads around. I love when that's why everyone remembers the first movie of things like Halloween or
Yeah.
those types of things because it's smaller, it's more I don't know. It's more in your face when it's like that.
Yeah. I mean, even The Fog, which came in between this and Halloween, it was like it's a small little coastal town, right? Like it's not like a
I love that movie.
huge dude. The movie's so underrated. I didn't see it till like 3 or 4 years ago, and damn, it's such a
I saw it
cool
when I
like
was a kid on VHS.
dude. I think I saw the fucking remake first, and that was
Yeah, the remake was
oh,
terrible.
dude, the remake is real bad, like real bad. Like one, they made it PG-13, and it's funny, like, dude, that original film is barely even rated R. Like, but
I
man,
just
they just
remember laughing at it. I don't remember being ever too scared or
it wasn't
anything, but
scared. It wasn't scared at all, man. It wasn't scary at all. Um, but man, this this is like I don't think there are many examples of films I respect more from a practical effects manner, right? Like this film is just I think the pinnacle. I you go in and then you go things like Jurassic Park where you start getting like that world where it was like Jurassic Park feels like the end of the practical effects era because of it used so many practical effects in it, but it also used a ton of CGI, right?
well,
And it's like
they were the pioneers for the switchover, right?
yeah. Yeah, they
But
started it.
actually, Cabin Fever had a lot of really good practical effects in it as well, to be honest. Like that, like when I was doing the poster today, I was like, well, what scene do I remember? And it's always like, oh, she still wants to look pretty, but her fucking skin is like coming off and
Yeah.
she's
That
shaving her leg. It is so gnarly. I remember that more than anything. So I
it
had to put the bathtub in there, but yeah, man, like so good.
you have to listen to the Ice Nine Kills song about cabin fever. It's pretty good. It's a that movie, dude. I can't believe they remade that movie with the exact same script. I can't, like
I never
it's
watched it. I never
I
watched it.
didn't either. I heard it was real not good
Why would you fucking do that? The first one was so good.
because I don't know, man. Something Eli Roth is like a weirdo, man. He seems like I don't know for how much he's done for horror.
He
Yeah,
makes
I
some
don't know.
bad decisions too. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean it's his career kind of fell off the face of the earth after like he did Hostel in Cabin Fever and then not much got like great stuff after that, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like I mean it was Cabin Fever into Hostel, right? In like those two really extreme movies and Hostel's kind of that like
Well, that was like
torture porn
the what was it, mid or early to
2000.
mid 2000s
Yeah.
was like the torture porn era of horror movies, and now we're back to either slasher films, but also there was the introduction of the like more sophisticated double meaning horror films. What
Yeah.
are they calling it in
Elevated horror.
elevated horror? And I feel
Yeah.
like I'm so happy that elevated horror came in and saved us from torture porn because I do like gory movies every once in a while, but when it's only about that and nothing else,
Yeah.
and it's just about the next gag and then I do like when the gags are practical effects and stuff, but like I just find it funny because I see through it. I see to
And
what they're trying to do, and everyone else thinks I'm fucking crazy because I'm laughing at this
yeah.
stuff. But I think it's almost like a nervous tick too, right? Like
Yeah.
go to
Well,
laughter
it's
instead of being horrified.
gore's a gore's a thing, but man, it's not why like I like cool gore stuff, but like it's not why I watch horror. I don't go and watch shitty horror movies just for gore, right?
I
It
like when
and
it's like it adds to it. It's not the only thing, right? Like
yeah. Yeah. Well, storytelling, man. It's like it's why indie horror I feel like is that like they can do that, but a lot of indie horror just tries to tell a story in like that terrifying way, right? Um which is why it's like so good. Like I feel like you're more likely like the bigger the horror movie, the more like we're doing a paint by numbers horror film, right?
right.
And that's why. And it's like it well it's funny because like right the thing happened and you're releasing this in 82 and so it came at an interesting time, right? Because it came in between Jason and Friday the 13th. Like, I assume, like, I think the third Friday came out in 82, but you're in that period where you're before, because they were like Friday, like they were doing
Oh
them
yeah.
like by the year, but this was also before
Well,
Nightmare,
because
right?
New
And
Line was nothing, and then
yeah.
Freddy came out of New. Oh, you're talking about Friday the 13th or Freddy?
I'm talking about both of them because what the
Mhm.
Friday came out in 80, Nightmare comes out in 84. So that film is in that like in between. And still can't believe, dude. Do you know this film got fucking destroyed by critics when it came out? Like it
The
got
Thing?
destroyed. Yeah, it got destroyed by critics. And I'm sitting there going, how, like, I
Well,
don't
to
understand
be
how you watch
honest,
something.
there's not much to this movie script
No,
wise.
no.
So it is all in on amazing effects. Like this
It's
movie is
amazing.
effects everything and
But it's
the rest.
effects and atmosphere. This movie has
Yes.
the most, like, because it's one of those things where you don't know what characters you can trust. Like, and
Yes.
that goes throughout the whole fucking movie. Like it goes all the way to the very final scene, which is like that really depressing thing we're talking about, where it's like, yeah, like everyone you love died, and the last two characters are probably sitting here freezing to death, and Childs is probably the thing, and Kurt Russell's like, you know what's the thing with that last scene that I love, and that I'm like, it's one of those scenes that gets talked about so incredibly much in this film, just because it's like kind of dystopian like ending where it's like, oh, everyone's dead, everything's fucked, everything is this and that, and the the amount of things that people have guessed are happening in that scene, because the big thing that once you notice it is like really is that such a crucial part of that final scene is that Kurt Russell's character, who is obviously McReady is his fucking name, as I can't say his name right, but him and Keith David Childs, they're all like their last names are sitting there, and McReady's like his you can see his breath going, right,
Mm-hmm.
and Childs the whole time he's talking in that final scene, no breath at all, and it's that thing where you people like, oh, that means um Childs is the thing, and Kurt Russell's a human, and there's things where I've
Are
seen
you
people say,
sure?
that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
There is no sure. And then like there's people who say that Kurt Russell gave him gasoline or kerosene in that bottle at the end, where he gives it to him like to sip, and he doesn't like, because he goes like he like makes that like, he's kind of like, oh man, as soon as he drinks it, and so because he never drinks it in that last scene either, he just gives Child some, right, and so you leave in this thing where it's like these guys are both dead. I mean, even if Childs is the thing, he's gonna freeze like he did how many thousands of years ago, that like they said like what 100,000 years that thing had been buried in ice, and you go, everyone's fucked, everyone's been torn apart, everyone's been like, dude, this, I mean, like, not
Mimicked.
this one. Yeah, it's such a grim film in so many ways with like, and it's funny, man. I usually don't like grim films as like as a repeated thing, right? They're like I can really enjoy it, but it's like rewatching. But this film is so like just the special effects, man. It's just special effects and tension and the acting and everything about it is just like, man. There's this thing about this film that I sit there and I go, it almost feels like if you were like, we're gonna take the cast of Gilligan's Island, we're gonna put them in Antarctica, and then insert a like an alien that's killing. There's this weird like this vibe of this of the cast and everything like that in a good way, and it's just like, man, there's nothing. I don't have any complaints about this movie. Like, I can't complain about one element of this film and go, yeah, that's just they need to. What was Carpenter doing? And because the man, it is such a perfect movie. It really is one of my favorite films of all time. Um, what was it? So after all this time, and you talk about watching this sober for like you feel like the first time, what really stood out like from coming at it from that perspective, like as a filmmaker and someone who's like looking at a lot of things in this world, with that fresh lens, what really stands out to you about this movie and what Carpenter did in it?
Pyro.
Pyro, pyro.
Seriously, the amount, just even that last scene when they're just like that hallway scene where they're just like
Yeah.
running and fucking blowing up every single room one by one by one. I was like, this is just straight madness. This whole movie is so crazy with the amount of in your
Yeah.
face fire, explosions, like just destruction.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. But it's like, and and because like, you know, I've seen a lot of movies. They didn't have an abundance of sound effects libraries at their disposal. So the amount of like sound effects that I've heard so many times used in this film, especially the sound effect of when I'm doing nitpicky stuff, but I love it because like, I love this movie so much that because I've seen it before, I start noticing the little nuances, like
Yeah.
when he's trying to bring him back to life and then his arms get eaten in half and then taken out. The sound effect that they used for that was like 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 so comical to me, but I
You know
loved
how
it.
they did that, right?
What?
So you know how they did that shot, right? They had
Mm.
a guy who was like it actually had no arms,
Oh,
and
nice.
they put the fake arms on him, and then they do that, and that's
I
how that
love it.
was like. It's such a cool thing, like that, and well, dude, that and like I don't know what it was with the '80s, like they use like cicadas like as the sound for everything in the
Yeah,
'80s,
yeah.
right? Like whenever like things are the thing is vibrating in this film, they go it's like that, which they use in like I think the aliens use that the sound, and I think that's the same fucking sound Pumpkinhead has, like when he's running around
Oh,
in
yeah.
that film. So it was like very like because it's like that it's that such a eerie sound, right? It's like that like it doesn't sound like it's from this world. It's got that other world, which is why like this film obviously it's the thing from another world and
I love how often they say that thing and stuff because
yeah.
it's so perfect that the movie's called The Thing because it literally is just a thing, right? So
Yeah. I mean, so Carpenter loved the original of this film, right? The thing from another world that like I mean, they're watching it in the original Halloween, right? Like the kids they're babysitting are watching that film. And he took it in like it took like a more like 50s action like alien movie and then he brought it back into like the 80s, right? And he made it. See, this is the thing. If you're going to remake something like that, do it your own style. Like this is like it's such a thing because I don't even think people even think about the thing as a remake, right? Because it's so different, but it's also so John Carpenter. And that's the thing, man. I hate if you're gonna remake something, do it your own cool way, right?
don't remake this movie. They did, and don't watch it. It's so dumb.
Dude, I watched that movie in theaters. I think it was like 2011 that film came out, and I I like my soul hurt after that. Like it hurt after watching that. I was like, you just shit all over my child. Like they're okay. These are the times that like as an adult where I felt like that the thing which was they tried to set it up as the Norwegian team, like it was like a prequel slash reboot kind of thing.
See, I
And
love Mary Elizabeth Winstead,
yep,
but fuck.
dude,
Oh,
the worst part about it is they did all the practical effects, and then someone decided they were gonna just CG over all of them, and it's just the biggest
yeah, it was
like
dumb.
I think that the Nightmare on Elm Street version, the remake from around the same time was a worse film, but this one hurt my soul on a level that I can't even describe. I think of that. I think of fucking. It's funny. the Willy Wonka with Johnny Depp is another one of those films that I'm like, just like, why did this like
Yeah.
movie that like embraced my childhood, and I'm just like, and you just like do this shit like just I don't know, and I'm glad that Johnny Depp is getting some like, like getting his name cleared in court with his crazy bed shitting ex-wife. But man, like Johnny Depp has like I haven't liked his acting in anything in a long time. Like the last thing I really liked Johnny Depp in was Sweeney Todd. And that movie fucking slaps, but that movie slaps for
A
a
lot of
lot of
reasons.
yeah, and it's not
It's just a
Johnny Depp.
wicked cool musical, man. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna do
And
a
he did a
musical,
good
do it
job with
right.
it. But like he just is weird all the time. Like I don't know. Also, and I'm talking about this, the fucking did you see Jared Leto at the Met Gala looking like I don't know, he looked like some kind of weird like combination of Hellraiser and that like red leather suit from The Cell with Jennifer Lopez. I don't know what it was, but it looked fucking bonkers. The Met Gala was yesterday, so I'm just thinking of these crazy things.
The fuck?
Yeah. It's a weird look, man. It's a weird look. Uh dude, and it's funny, man.
Holding
Like
his own
this is
head, dude.
yeah.
In
Yeah, it's
2019.
weird, man. So the thing that like I think still my favorite like whole sequence in this whole film is the head. And I love how they do everything from like the head tearing away from the body and to it like growing the arms and legs and doing that thing. And all I want to say is you just compare that to the shit in It Chapter 2. And you and I have talked about It Chapter 2 many times where they just like more CG, and it's like you're
They
fighting
had the
everything,
budget. You could see it, but it was so fucking stupid.
but just compare that scene with the head that they paid homage to the thing, and you just go, but this scene it's not nearly as good in It Chapter 2 because it's all CG. Like it's this film is literally dude, another reason it's really wonderful to talk about this now is it's 40 years old this year. This film is 40 years old and is just perfect. Like Josh looks like he broke a tooth and or sharded, and I'm not sure which one it was, but
There's no bed around, so you got to do it in your pants.
yep, you got to do it. I man, I want to say like they're like is what I really like about Carpenter too is he never has these perfect human beings, right? Like all his characters are flawed, right? They're like these characters that feel real in the world. I mean, besides Michael Myers is like evil entity as like as a moving thing, but like Kurt Russell's like fucking on edge just like the rest of them, even though he's cool as fuck doing it the whole time. Shoots a guy in the head who ends up being like completely, was a human. Just kind of it's so much in this film you're just like, man, it is. Can you like it's that situation where you don't know who to trust because they could be this alien monster that like replicates and does everything.
It's just like your normal day-to-day life at work, right?
Yeah. Dude, when they find the bald redheaded dude out in the snow when he's like his hands are all like
Yeah, I love that.
extending and he's like yeah, and it's just like that sound and then he just gets flamethrower and you're just like
Everything and everyone gets flamethrowered in this movie,
yeah.
and I love it.
Yeah. Well, dude, I still think that the most horrifying scene in this whole movie is when he's got all the guys fucking tied up on the couch.
Yes.
And
The
guy
one
is
like
the
is
one guy
ripping them around and
Yeah.
stuff. Get us fucking out of here! Ah!
and they're just
So
you're sitting
good.
there go, can you imagine how horrifying this? You're sitting here and this thing is just like vibrating to fucking hell, and you're just sitting there going,
That whole
oh no,
scene is, I think, one of my one of my favorite scenes because the tension build of like
Yeah.
how long it's taking to like reheat the coil thing that he's putting into the blood to get the reaction, and then as soon as the reaction happens to the blood and it's like this huge, it's really well done scene.
Well, especially because they had sitting there and they had sat there and they're like, yeah, he basically says, "Oh, it's you, the one guy," like, right?
Yeah.
And so you're kind of like he's building it up that they're gonna get to him and it's gonna turn, and you get 3 in, and the guy goes, "Oh no, it was this guy, really." And that scene also is heartbreaking because that's the scene where you go, "Oh, Kurt Russell, like, McGreedy, like, just, like, goes, oh, yeah, you just shot a dude in the head. You shot a man in the head. You executed him." And, dude, it's like that whole thing where it's like, time the monster attacks, man, it's just like when he grabs the dude's head and is like sucking him in, the guy with the glasses and everything like that. That guy has a rough ride. Like once shit starts going bad, because he gets stuck with the doctor when he's losing his shit, and then he's getting like his head sucked into the thing. Oh, also, man, when they're doing the autopsy of the one of the things they kill, and they're just like pulling out like the dog head and just like that's the way the intricacies of these fucking monster creations that they did are just they just feel like they're real things, right? They feel like they're real like entities in this world. They feel like they like you could see it like getting up and moving, and you could smell like the burning of this like weird like, and like you're talking about the goo. Everything's gooey in this movie. It's
That's the 80s. That's what made the 80s so good for special effects, because they just had the goo and they put it all over everything, and it you can't even simulate it. You can't simulate the way light and natural light hits it, reflects off of it back to the lens, and it looks so fucking good. Like, I don't know.
You think of like Alien, like in that suit that had like the like goo on it, and like, and then like how like gooey like the aliens felt like in Hive and Aliens, and it's like, dude, like what's the best looking Jason Voorhees? Jason in Part 7, where he's like gooey and like watery and like it's got that like he looks like you could smell him because he's like, and his spine is sticking out, but he's gooey the whole movie, right? And it's like, man, they just like did all that stuff, and I remember watching some the horror special on Shudder, and then talking about the Into the Darkness, I think it was called. They've done 2 and they're doing the 3rd one, and they're talking about how like everything was those like I forget what they're called, like the inflating things under the surface of stuff, like to like prosthetics to make them go like blow them up while they're like I think of the transformation scene from The Howling, right, where they like the bladders. I think that's what they're called, the bladders, and like the like his forehead comes out and it's just like
the rods.
The rods. Man,
I love making fun of you because I love you.
Everyone loves making fun of me, Josh. It's like my whole shtick in life. It's like,
because we love you, okay, Rod? We love you, and that's it.
I know.
That's what you do to friends.
I know, man. I know. I understand.
The more like weird nicknames you have, or the more whatever, that means that's you're loved just that much more.
Dude, when I was in like elementary school, I had like 37 nicknames. My
There you
one
go.
friend Dan Lippian was like called me like Rod Melon Woo, Iron Bullcrap, Look Bobbit. So I don't even know. Like I literally had 20 nicknames, and he thought it was the funniest shit ever. The another thing about this movie that I fucking love, Keith David is the fucking man. Keith David is like the fucking, like, he's just cool whenever he's in anything, man. Like you go from this into like him and They Live, and you go, Man, he's cool. And
Just
then like
just They Live through and through. It's I don't know. I'm
yeah,
so glad we did that movie because I hadn't seen it, and and all of Obey and everything came from that. But like, and I loved Obey coming up and Shepherd Ferry and just everything that he was doing art wise and stuff, right? But just that whole fight scene, just it
we haven't done They Live, Josh.
we didn't.
No.
What? I thought. Then why did I watch
No.
it?
I don't know
It was
why you
just a book.
watched it.
We did
We
They
just
Live.
watched it. No, we
Come on,
didn't.
we had to have done They Live.
Dude, we haven't because I haven't watched They Live in like I just bought the 4K version of it, but I haven't watched it yet.
It's such
We
a good
don't.
movie.
No, I love it, dude. I love that film. That's why I just bought it on 4K, but we haven't done it.
We did it. We totally did.
No, we didn't, Josh. Because it's been years since I watched it. That's why I bought the Blu-ray.
I don't believe you.
We can't do it. I mean, maybe we do. They Live and we pull Jerry in. We'll get him one of these weeks.
What did you talk about to why can't I continue?
Yeah, continue.
What did you talk to her about, like coming on, or is she coming on soon? Or
She's fucking isolated right now. Like she's in the fucking her parents' basement because they got COVID and she had been around them.
oh
So,
shit.
yeah, so I don't know.
So nothing soon?
Maybe. I mean, she was talking about. She sounded like she was stuck there another week. I mean, if we want to do it next week, we might be able to do it with that with her. I was
What
hoping
was she
we would do
thinking
like
about doing? The
she wants to
Shining
do
and
The
Doctor.
Shining and Doctor Sleep. I haven't watched
that'd be
Doctor
a
Sleep
cool.
since
I'm
the
totally
theater.
down for that Grindhouse.
Yeah. So we'll reach out and see. It might be easier for her after that. After
Those
the
would be
COVID.
2 good fucking posters to do too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, The Shining, man. That's a iconic thing.
I got a wicked list of movies now from people though.
Yeah. Dude, I want you
Cool.
to do Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. That's what I want to see you do.
Oh, nice.
Dude, we got to do that movie at some point too. But
Dylan asked for Motel Hell and Malignant, and then my buddy Tyler asked for The House of the Devil. All great fucking films. And I wasn't on the ball when we did Motel Hell, so that would be a good one to add to our collection of Murder Moose.
That would make Continue happy too. I really one of the things, you know, one of my favorite things with this film that I ask myself every single time I watch it though too. What does this alien look like in its like original form, right? Like what
right.
What does it look like in its natural state of being? Because there's a couple things, right? This thing
Just
is
like Rod.
It looks like me. God damn. Sexy fucking alien. Like, because you don't see. I mean, you don't. That's the thing about it. That's why it's so scary.
You're its kryptonite, because as soon as it comes all the way here and it goes to like mimic, it's like, oh wait, what the fuck? And blows up anyways.
It blows up anyway. Man, all you just reminded me though, like the fucking scene where they go into that tunnels underneath the camp, and it just fucking knocks those boards up like it's like a it reminded me of Tremors. Like it looked like
yes.
Tremors.
Oh, that's such a good movie too, man.
Dude, I haven't watched Tremors since I was a fucking kid. I would
same, dude. I remember it fucking terrifying me too, because that's just the premise. I remember just being like, "What the fuck?" And then like all of a sudden taking my feet up off of the ground and putting it on the couch, like "Fuck."
Yeah, it's like a horrifying thought process because you're like, "Oh, you're not."
Wait. There's nothing. We can't go anywhere. Oh, we're fucked.
Yeah, basically. That whole dude, I get so mad. Like the one thing about this movie that I'm like, you idiots, what are you doing? These motherfuckers split up way too many times. Like, and I know they have to because they're doing like 9, but like as soon as they know this shit's happening, I would like you'd be like handcuffed to each other. Like I would like not let any of these motherfuckers go. Like, because that's the thing. Like, Childs fucking disappears at like for the last like complete like battle scene, right? Like where the whole scene we're talking about with the like planks getting knocked up and everything, and like him blowing it up with the fucking with the dynamite, which by the way is probably the best special effect in the whole film because it's like
Everything fire
yeah,
and explosion related was just blowing
yeah,
my fucking mind. I was like, I don't remember it being this crazy. It was just
yeah.
crazy.
Insurance wouldn't let movie theaters or movie companies make this like this anymore, right? Um, yeah, this movie is just so fucking good. It's so it for me with like I talk about all the time. I don't rewatch films, right? And this film is up there with Alien and like Die Hard. Die Hard is still probably the film I watched the most times, and then like I think Home Alone's right up there too. Like I've watched Home Alone a lot of times, and this film is just so easy to watch because it's so good from start. Like it doesn't have anything that like I don't want to skip anything. I don't want to do anything. It's like it's me falling asleep during this. It was for like 2 minutes, but like it's just this film is just like a it's that it gives me that serotonin, you know? It gives me that like and it just like relaxed me and I was just like, "Oh, what? Ah!" And yeah,
It's
so but
because I know exactly what you're talking about, but it's because you hold this movie in like a very special place in your heart, and
yeah,
it's a comfort zone
yeah,
place for you as well. So it honestly doesn't surprise me whatsoever because like it's like I forget what I was watching. Oh, I Marcel, the shell with shoes on. I That was the
yeah,
closing movie at Cuff. Fuck, what a great fucking movie. So well
mhm,
done. But Marcel says, "Oh, it's like when you go or you have a party at your house and your house is filled with people and you sneak off to a room and you take a nap because you feel
mhm,
so safe because you can still hear the party going on in the background and there's just so many people around that you can
yeah,
finally rest." And I feel
yeah,
like when you put on your favorite movie, it's almost that. It's like this
yeah,
is my safe zone. These are the
yeah,
people I know. These are the scenes I know. And
yeah,
it's like I've gotten really used to putting on some late night Twitch streamers while I'm going to bed because I
yeah,
know it's gonna end and then it's on my Chromecast, so it's just gonna go back to the clock, whatever, on the TV, flipping
yeah,
through the pictures, and it's gonna be silent. So like I've
mhm,
gotten so used to hearing a certain person's voice and game, and it's like it's just Fortnite turned down, but it's all those sounds that
yeah,
I don't even play the fucking game anymore. But it's still like it's like a place that I know, and it's something you can expect or
yeah.
something, and it helps me
That's
go to sleep now. It's
yeah.
fucking weird.
It's why, like, all the shows that I watch with my wife at night, like, it's always, like there's, like, 4 or 5 of them, like, Bob's Burgers, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like, Archer, but,
Mhm.
like, when I put stuff on, it's usually, like, real early in the show's, like, 1st season, like,
Yeah,
I put
because
the
you've
fu
already seen it, you know what to expect, you're not missing anything, and if you
yeah,
fall asleep,
yeah.
the whole fucking reason. Yeah, yeah.
There's an episode of Archer that's, like, they're trying to kill this guy from or this guy, they're trying to save this guy from the UN, like, it's called Killing Ooh, I forget what the guy's name is, but they it's them trying to protect this guy, and like anytime I put that episode on, I fall asleep before the end of the episode every single time, and they're like 20-minute episodes, you know, and it's that and the Futurama where they go to the moon, which is like the second episode of the show. I put that on, fall asleep before, like yeah, it's a comfort thing, and yeah, you're right, it's probably what it is, and it's the same thing with this. It's like you know what's happening, you know that, and you're like, and you connect with it, man. And this movie is just it's that, man. It's one of those things where this is the type of movie where I I I say all the time, I mean, Alien's my favorite, but I question myself sometimes as like, is the thing really my favorite movie of all time? I don't know. I think that maybe there might be a stubborn part of me. I mean, me stubborn. What a shock. But like, where it just holds up Alien because of it. But like, those two films are really, really, really high up there, and it's just like they're both that science fiction that I grew up on and horror. Like those two things are such a like they mean so much to me, and sci-fi isn't as much anymore. Like part of my problem is like modern sci-fi is just like I
What
don't
was
know
the do you know the, like, the one and, like, the age and I think we've talked about this maybe before, but, like, what was the one that, like, really I don't
it's
know.
Alien, dude.
Yeah?
Alien was like watching Alien. So like my favorite movies as a kid were like Die Hard and Alien. Like
Oh,
as like
I
like
do remember Terminator 2, Die Hard, specifically in weird spots and times in my life that just,
yeah,
like, things that happened actually, Die Hard was definitely one of those movies. I was at my friend's grandparents' house, and his grandma had what like dementia and something else, whatever.
yeah,
Um, and we were watching it, and we were just really, really young. But they had this like those lights that change colors when you to like light or to sound or whatever. So if you
yeah,
clapped, it would be like whatever.
yeah.
And I don't think we were supposed to be watching it because we were way too young. But we were watching Die Hard, and the couch had this like back to it so we could like crawl behind the couch and hide. And we were like watching it and we heard her coming down the stairs and we like both hid behind the couch and she came and was like, just like it was like a horror movie, man. It felt like X or what, like the old person just like
Yeah.
shuffling and like kind of making weird sounds and stuff. We were like, oh shit, like, and then she couldn't find us, so she just turned everything off and then went upstairs and we're like, okay, I think it's okay to come out. And then as she went upstairs, she had like a freak out, like a like episode of some sort, and made like a loud sound. And everything was turned off, so it was pitch black down there, except for the light that reacts to the fucking sound. So we're kids hiding. We hear this, and the lights start going. We're like, oh my god, like dying. Yeah.
You
So
poop
that was the
your pants.
first time I ever saw Die Hard. It was a
Dude,
good time though.
Die Hard I watched with my dad probably a billion times as a kid, and then like it's continues to be a movie I watch every year, right? But yeah, Alien is just man, Alien's one of those things that it's probably why I think I still hold it above this movie in my like because I have that it's one of those it might be the first horror movie that I remember loving. And so it's like that, that special place where it's like, this is so
Mm.
fucking cool. And then like
I would love to do
Alien.
House too, by the way. Like the original
Oh
House with the
yeah,
monsters.
Andy from Dead in Santa Carla keeps telling me that he wants to come on and talk House 2, not even House the original, but House 2. And I'm like, oh man, I don't think I've seen the second one. The first one is that first film is fucking bonkers. I remember talking to Brian, also from Dead in Santa Carla, about texting him while I was watching it. I was like, because
It's
I hadn't
so
seen it.
bonkers, man. It's so
I was like,
bonkers.
this movie is like they did all the cocaine and then like and then
But
they
the
got
monsters are so good in it though.
the sweater. It's also like Looney Tunes, right? It's like
Yeah.
R-rated like Looney Tunes. It's like when the fucking hand he can't bury the hand in like that one scene in the backyard.
It's
Movie's
so
bonkers.
goofy and
I love it.
it's so ridiculous. But yeah, it's so
I
fun.
love that movie. It's weird as shit, but I like, dude. It's just all the stuff that they were doing. Like this, the '80s were like the max, like the golden age, like of like all special effects and like practical effects and all this stuff. And I think this film is the thing is on the top of the like. I still think this is my favorite practical effects movie of all time. Like it just does so much and does it so well, and it it's just such a cool film, man. It's the definition of cool. Like cool Kurt Russell, cool Keith David, like everything about it. Like those two are just like everyone else is kind of freaking out and being whatever, and those two are just like, yeah, we're cool. What the fuck? And Keith David's been cool for a very long time. And just it just the special effects are such a like when I don't think I saw like I don't think I was like a teen saw this film until I was like a teenager, and it's just one of those things where it was like when I was discovering things like Evil Dead, like the original and like in the second one and like
See, I did
it's
those
just
oh wait. I think I did it all backwards. Because I saw like I was obsessed with Army of Darkness.
yeah
I've honestly seen that movie over 70 or 80 times. I know
Yeah.
every word. And then I went back and watched Evil Dead 2, I think, maybe I don't remember. But like just all those movies I was obsessed. But I remember when I was a kid, my mom had like a really good best friend who was into movies and like horror movies and would always like tell people, "Oh, you got to watch this." And like give Eraserhead and like stuff to
Yeah.
people that don't like horror movies. And then they're like, "What the fuck are you making me watch?" But then to me, she's like, "Oh, I got this movie. You'd be totally into it." And then hands me a copy of Army of Darkness. And my mom's like, "He's not fucking watching that." And I bring that up to my mom all the time. It's just like, she knew, Mom. She knew because that is literally my favorite movie of all,
Yeah.
like one of my favorite movies, top probably 5 of all time.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's ever going anywhere. So
Yeah, and I think we're gonna do a lot of my top 5 in the show. Like, we'll never do Die Hard, right? But we've already done Old Boy. Now we've done The Thing. Like, my top 5, I think, like if I think about it, is Alien, The Thing, Die Hard, Old Boy. I don't, and then like probably Home Alone. Like Home
are we
Alone's
doing
probably
Doctor
up there.
Strange next week?
We are, yes, which means we should probably try to record that like Saturday or Sunday or something. Dude, we might do that as a bonus episode and just put it out like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe record it Friday. I don't know when you're going to see it.
I'm seeing it Thursday.
Okay, I'm seeing it Friday morning. Maybe I'll do that. We'll talk about that after. Yeah, we're doing Doctor Strange 2 for sure. I mean,
Oh,
I I feel like if we put it out a review on Friday, it might get more traction though. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Okay.
well,
But
I'm
man,
not
yeah,
too worried about that type of stuff
yeah.
anymore, man.
I'm not either, but I was just thinking out loud, to you. That's all.
That's what I used to do with my YouTube channel all the time. It's just like I would go out of my way every week to see the movie on Thursday. I would record it early morning
Yeah.
Friday and get it
Yeah.
out so it was out before lunch on the Friday it came out. So everyone that was going to see the movie would
Yeah.
all hit up my review beforehand, and I would get that like spike of views on the Friday, and then it would
Yeah.
just like dwindle down from
Tail
there,
off,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, are you? It sounds like you. I'm happy that you had as much fun with this as I knew you were going to, because this is such a like this. It's like if you like, if you're a movie like fanatic and you love horror, this and or even sci-fi, like I feel like it's such a great. It's one of those things too. Like, yeah, it gaps like it closes the gap of sci-fi and horror, which is why I love this and Alien.
Well,
Those two films that do that.
I like going back and watching older 80s movies. Like anything from the 80s just has this like this look, feel, like it's not as, for me, nostalgic movies are more like the mid 90s and early 2000s era horror movies. Those are like the where I get super nostalgic over movies. I grew up watching 80s horror movies and stuff, but
Yeah.
I feel like because I came into my own as like a movie lover more around those times, like,
Yeah.
late 90s, early 2000s stuff, that's when I was really like that. Yeah, like I knew I was going to make movies. I just started liking them on a completely different level. And
Yeah.
I just like going back and seeing where you can just see how many movies this influenced as well. So
Yeah.
like just
Oh,
as like the just seeing the process through different eyes. I don't know, man. It's really a well fucking put together crazy fucking movie.
yeah. Like, I don't know, to be completely honest, if it's a better film than Halloween. Uh, I think I prefer this over I mean, it's in my top 5 and Halloween isn't. So yeah, I prefer it over Halloween, but like that's like just because of where my wheelhouse is with cinema. Like it's like the whole thing where you can enjoy something more like I don't need a film to be perfect to enjoy the shit out of it, right? Like it if something's fun and means something to me, yeah, I can, yeah, this is fucking awesome. Like it's like that's why like as a 38-year-old still going to see the Home Alone, that fucking, I mean, the film means something because nostalgia is a big thing with a lot of this stuff, right? And this movie is probably, it's funny, I think this is one of those films that this is the last pieces of like of nostalgia for me, right? It's like it's not Alien, but like I saw it a little bit later in life, but it just means so much to me because of what it is and what it and how it creates this world that you is a horrifying world, but it's this so cool of a world at the same time, right? And it's just what John Carpenter like impressed me more than he ever impressed me in any of his other films. And I love him. I like Halloween is my top 10 for sure. And The Fog is one of those films that I fucking love, even though I haven't watched it enough times. And we'll do what do you call it? They Live, since we didn't do They Live at some point and enjoy it. But man,
we fucking
I fucking love this movie. I fucking love this movie.
We fucking did it already. Okay.
Josh, you're smoking the drugs.
I already know that we already did it, and we'll do it again though. Okay.
Josh, we'll go through everything we didn't do They Live because I haven't watched it in years.
All right. So, well, I'm gonna go watch my Calgary Flames beat the shit out of the Dallas Stars, and then go to round 2.
Okay. So next week is Doctor Strange 2 Into the Multiverse of Madness.
I'm fucking stoked, man. I'm so stoked.
I am too. We're going.
It looks
Friday
amazing.
Morning, 11 o'clock. And we are murdermiss.com, murdermisspod on Twitter, Rod_Johnson on Twitter and Twitch, Josh WRB on Twitter and Twitch. And give us a 5-star review where you're watching this. So
subscribe, do all the things.
If you're watching on fucking YouTube, give us a comment. Just say something about it.
Also, go over to my channel on YouTube. It's this one.
Yep. Follow that too. I have my own. I think it's Rod_Johnson on Twitter too, which has or YouTube too, which has all my YouTube videos. So, okay, Josh, enjoy your hockey game. I love this fucking movie, and I'm stoked about Doctor Strange 2. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.